Human rights are women's rights. Women's rights are human rights.
We're gathered for a march and a candlelight vigil today in solidarity with the Women's March on Washington, because defending women's rights in the United States is defending them in France and all over the world. This march is open to women, to men, anyone who wishes to join in peaceful support of dignity and human rights for women and all minority groups threatened by the current political climate. Thank you.
Alors nous marchons aujourd'hui pour témoigner notre solidarité avec la Women's March à Washington, car défendre les droits des femmes aux États-Unis, c'est défendre les droits des femmes en France et dans le monde entier. Nous marchons contre les incitations à la haine, les attitudes discriminatoires, les messages et actions réactionnaires. Cette marche se veut ouverte à toutes et à tous, et chaque individu partout dans le monde. Merci.
Great. That's a great turnout. So we U.S. citizens here today assemble in support of the United States Constitution and of the fundamental rights enshrined within it, which we feel are threatened. We, the people, wish to safeguard freedoms threatened by the political tone of the incoming administration in Washington, D.C., as we heard yesterday in the inaugural address. We unite to support the dignity and human rights of women and all minority groups threatened by the current political crisis. That includes people of color, people of different sexual orientations, people with disabilities, people of all faiths, immigrants, refugees, asylum seekers, young people seeking education without incurring crushing debt, and families who rely on Obamacare, Medicaid, and Medicare, which are all under threat. We support fair labor practices that include a decent minimum wage. We unite to show support for planet Earth and progressive environmental initiatives to protect our natural world. Those are under threat too. We invite all concerned citizens to join us, men and women, young and old, in a spirit of solidarity, friendship, democracy, and engaged citizenship. We want to honor the champions of human rights who've gone before us, and we stand here and now, all of us, in our own time, for the values of tolerance, inclusion, fairness, freedom, justice, and peace. And finally, many of us Americans wish to thank President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama for 8 years of service to our nation, which has been marked by their intelligence, humanity, grace, and humor. The politics of fear and division have no place in 2017. Thank you.
Fired up? Are we ready to go? Are you fired up? Are you ready to go? Are all the members of the Democrats Abroad organization fired up? And ready to go? This is a very emotional time for us. This very gathering is an emotional experience for us. The spirit of the civil rights movement is in our bones, is in our hearts, is in every breath that we take. Here we are once again, called upon to mobilize our global sisters and brothers who are here to empower and to inaugurate a new leadership, a leadership that will truly embrace us all, with all of our various talents and attributes and identities. The voices of justice call upon us all to rekindle and reignite that mass activism that brought us to victory so many times before. In the face of the forces of oppression, hatred, and fear, we will triumph once again. As chair of Democrats Abroad Toulouse, I stand before you as the great-granddaughter of Thomas Morgan, an enslaved Black American born in 1861 in the state of North Carolina. I serve the Executive Committee Board that includes the great-granddaughter of the 27th President of the United States, William Howard Taft. Taft was born a mere 4 years before my great-grandfather, but hundreds of years beyond the capabilities and opportunities of life afforded to my great-grandfather. Yes, in very few spaces on this globe is such a reality possible, of such a reconciliation, of such a mechanism for collaboration and innovation and creativity. This transatlantic grassroots institutional infrastructure is proof positive of the way in which our democratic systems accommodate leadership not merely from the top down, but from the bottom up as well. We each have two homelands, France and the United States. Just like the Black American expatriate Josephine Baker, we love both of our homelands equally. In this Women's March, we prove and demonstrate to the world that we are stronger together. My fellow Democrats abroad executive committee member fills in my gaps, and I fill in her gaps. Both France and the United States benefit from our shared trust in each other and our shared allegiance to our homelands. As women and as mothers, we know the historical truth that Sally Hemings was the actual baby mama of Thomas Jefferson. She was his mistress and not his lawful wife. Yes, when the third US president traveled to Guyak and to this region for wine tasting, he brought his Black American mistress, Sally Hemings, along with him. Yes, the US president was both a misogynist and a racist. Jefferson enslaved his own children, and upon his death, his children were still enslaved. They were not freed, even though the Polish general Kosciuszko paid for their freedom. Jefferson kept the money, but did not free his own children from slavery. We've been in this place before. However, thanks to President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama, the power of the roles of wives and mothers have been duly expanded. For the past 8 years, the lawful wife of the 44th President of the United States woke up in the White House, which had been built by Black American enslaved labor. In her spirit, as well as in mind and body, through her life experience, she healed. And she healed the nation, and she healed the world, even many of us here in France and here in Toulouse. Under this very president, Barack Obama, the power of marriage itself has been expanded by the inclusion of same-sex marriage. The power of marriage to defy miscegenation laws has been reinforced. There are those who might liken the friendship between the great-granddaughter of a US president and the great-granddaughter of an enslaved Black American in this town of Toulouse, France, as an improbable manifestation of that friendship between the First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt and Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune. There are others who might liken our friendship to that of feminist Gloria Steinem and lesbian Florence Kennedy. However one chooses to define the historical frame within which to cast such an improbable friendship, it is our hope and our duty to ensure that future generations have no less an opportunity to display greatness and compassion and perseverance. As disparate as our beginnings may appear to be, we have been brought here to this place, Toulouse, at this moment, January 21st, 2017, in order to bear witness once again that the arc of morality may be long, but that it bends towards justice. We're fired up and ready to go.
They supported her, they continued protesting, and finally, President Wilson had to support the women's right to vote. We will continue our actions until there is freedom, equality, and justice for all. Let me hear you.
Il faut se mettre debout, il faut lever la voix et surtout, il faut s'engager à agir.
Therefore, our march today does not end here. For this vision to become reality, for these rights to be respected for all throughout the world, you, we must come forth. We must raise our voices, and most importantly, we must be engaged to act here and now. Thank you.
As we go marching, a number of women there go crying through us singing their ancient call for bread. Small heart, love and beauty, their tragic spirit new. Yet it is bread we fight for, but we fight for roses too. As we go marching, to bring the greater days. The rising of the woman means the rising of the race. No more the tragedy love than that sword where we want roses, but sharing of like glories, bread and roses, bread and roses.
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Justice!
When do we want it?
Now!
Freedom? Freedom? What do we want?
Freedom!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Freedom!
When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Freedom!
When do we want it?
Now!
Black lives matter.
Black lives matter!
Black lives matter. 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 No human is illegal. No human is illegal. No human is illegal. No walls don't work. Walls don't work. Walls don't work. Walls don't work.
I'm here because I want to make sure that we can live in a world of peace, freedom, and that the world that we give to our kids in 10 years, 100 years is going to be where we have an environment that's actually worth respecting and living in, and where people can get along and enjoy it. So I believe in nonviolent activism, demonstrating through resistance and making sure other people respect our rights, that we're all equal. So enjoy the evening, folks. Thanks a lot, and now it's up to you.
I'm here because I'd like to see opportunities open to women that I've had. I've been very lucky in my life, and I'd like that to be available to my daughter, my wife, my sisters, and to women that are around us. And that's not something that I've really seen available in my lifetime yet. I'd like that to happen. So I'm here in solidarity for the march that's going on all around the world, the sister marches. And I'm hoping that the people here will also continue that, keep that spirit.
My father came and volunteered his services for World War I, amazingly enough, because he was older, and World War II. And he taught me that in the times where things are the absolute worst, there are people that are willing to turn it around. In 1968-70, I was at the march in Washington against Vietnam, and I have a hard time believing that we've come back to this, but as many people are out there creating hate, there's a lot of people out there who can make things better, and that's what we have to unite and do.
Trump is a liar, a cheat, a racist, a homophobe, a xenophobe, but he's really our president too? No, thank you.
I'm here because my students have a lot of questions for me about why Trump was elected, why Americans could choose somebody who's racist and sexist, etc., etc. And the answers are really hard, but the moral is that it's not enough to just think one way anymore. You really have to say it loud. So this is my first protest, and that's why I'm here. Thank you. Love Trump's hate.
Tous contre Trump! 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 Tous contre Trump!
Down with Trump! Down with Trump! Not a second term! Not a second term!
Love Trump's hate! 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 Love Trump's hate!
Oh, yes, hello.
Well, this is the beginning. This is just the beginning, but it's solidarity for Americans here in France. We hope we'll build on this. Democrats abroad will grow, and we're going to have to be a resistance to the Trump government. They've already they've taken off the website environmental issues, LB, GT, all that's coming off. So, yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for what you're doing.
Tous contre Trump! Tous contre Trump! Tous contre Trump! Tous contre Trump! Tous contre Trump!
Generation immigrants are reacting.
I'm here because I'm against the entire regime that's taking place right now as a matter of policy.
I woke up when Trump was elected and I felt alone. And today's the first time I felt like I belong with people that are actually part of my community, so I'm grateful.
Oh, I'm encouraged that so many people turned out, and I'm pleased that so many people in Toulouse care enough.
Marching today so that people in Europe know that Americans all over the world do not feel the same way that the information that's coming out of the States. There's concerned Americans in America and here.
I'm a human being. Keep freedom and liberty. Liberté pour tout le monde.
We are
every small action
we can make a difference. Thank you!
Now the story has never been told, so now you see the light. Stand up for your rights. Come on, get up, stand up. Get up, stand up. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Keep your right. Get up, stand up. We can't give up the fight. Stand up for your rights. Lord, Lord. Get up, stand up. Keep us loving on. Don't give up the fight. Yeah. We're sick and tired of the isms, schism, gang, dying and go to heaven in Jesus' name, Lord. We know and we understand. Almighty God is a living man. You can fool some people sometimes, but you can't fool all people all the time. So now we see the light. What we gonna say?
To remind everyone that Donald Trump was not elected by the majority of the American public, and that we're here today to remind everyone that the Americans intend to keep our good international relationships and to support everyone in achieving, beautiful lives.
I want to say to the American population that you need to wake up, you need to start reading real literature, analysis pieces, and you need to see that the climate in the United States at this time resembles pre-World War II Europe, 1930s Europe, with the climate of hate and the climate of discrimination. You need to wake up and stop being sheep that are walking to the slaughter. Start educating yourselves, get out and fight for everybody's rights, because we're all equal.
I hear music in the background that gives me hope that we can find a way to come together as people, and we can change things. And we need to fight for the changes to something positive.
We just came from Béziers to swell the ranks by 2 and just have something to help the cause from afar. Okay.
The world is watching.
I'm so happy to see so many people here in this place so far away, recognizing that that power that exists over there needs to be fought. We need to stand and say, no, we are against what you're doing. So thank you all for coming.
This is the worldwide Minute of Silence. All the marches all around the world. Everyone is pausing at what is 7 o'clock our time. Obviously, earlier in the day in New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, and around the world.
I don't want to be scared for my son and the world he's going to grow up in, for the environment. I don't want to be scared for refugees who have no place to go. I don't want to be scared anymore. And when I look around and I see your faces and I see your candles, and there's people here coming together, and you're singing songs, and your shoulders are touching shoulders, and you're looking each other in the eye, that makes me a little bit less scared. So, thanks for coming out.
We share